Hi everyone, welcome back. This video will show you how to create a Generate GPT unit using LINQ. As always, the title of the GPT will be on the top of the page, and it says Amazon response to reviews negative. So the function of this Generate unit GPT unit will be to respond to negative responses from customers on Amazon after buying a microwave. So as always, you will see the unit information on the top, unit name, which you can change at any time, GPT type, which is generate, and who it's created by, and the last saved date. On the right side, you can always embed any documents you want your GPT to remember. For this particular video, I don't have any documents that I want to embed. To save time, I've already filled in all the boxes, but I will go over them one by one. You can first set your parameters. I always like to choose GPT-4 because I want more sophisticated and advanced answers. However, always remember that the downside might be that it takes a longer time to generate the response. Also, I am keeping the temperature at 0, giving it no creativity and no flexibility. I want this GPT unit to listen and follow my instruction as carefully, as perfectly as it possibly could. Now, the system message is giving this GPT unit a role. And so I'm telling this unit, you are a merchant on Amazon, an e-commerce platform, and need to respond to negative feedback from customers. I'm asking it to be very polite, professional, and understanding. Now, this input section is where we are bringing in information from outside. So remember again that this GPT will be responding to negative reviews from customers, right? So in order for it to respond, it needs an input, which would be the review from the customer. So what I did was I went to Amazon. I actually looked through the reviews and decided to choose one review, this one. Just one star sign. I copy paste this review and put it into this inbox word for word. The second input is the person's name, customer's name. So as you can see, her name was Jennifer Anderson. So I put in Jennifer here. So again, these input is something that comes into the GPT from the outside and something that might change for every customer, every person. You can add as many inputs as you want and then also delete them if you don't like them. Now, this prompt is the actual instruction that your GPT will carry out. So system message was kind of the general role and identity you give the GPT. Prompt is telling it you are doing this, you are taking this action. So as you can see, it says, please write a response to input. Remember that input 1 was review from the customer. And so instead of having to write this long chunk of text in the prompt, we just write in a little code here that will bring in this text into this website. Remember that the format should always be this type of parentheses, input 1, and then closing the parentheses. If you only write input and don't do this full format, then it's not going to bring in the data. So please remember to use this exact format when you're bringing in input 1 or input 2, or if you have more inputs, input 3 values. So again, it says, please write a response to input 1, the review. That is a customer review written by input 2. And remember, input 2 was the customer, input 2, following the guidelines below. And since I number the guidelines just to make it seem cleaner and easier to understand, I asked the GPT that it didn't have to follow this order necessarily when creating the content. So the instruction includes, but again, you can be very creative with this. Keep the length of the entire response within 20 sentences and 3 paragraphs. I don't want it to be a 5 paragraph essay, but I also don't want to be too short. So then it seems like we are not sincere about the response. So I set this very specific length outcome, and you can be very creative with this too. And again, I added a sentence asking GPT to thank input two. So again, the customer for being a valuable customer. Third, thank the customer for taking the time to provide constructive and helpful feedback about the item they purchased. Since it's a negative review, we're taking in a lot of angry messages and saying that those are constructive and helpful feedback. Fourth, answer the question from the perspective of a customer service agent. So again, reminding your GPT what its role is, and do not include in the response anything along the line that you are a customer service agent. Fifth, communicate that you will try your best to improve the product or service, really showing that we mean it when we say we're sorry, you will do better. Deeply empathize with the customer satisfaction, which is really important with customer service. And lastly, making sure that the message is signed off at the end politely, formally, and indicate that it's coming from the Amazon team. So with this instruction, what you do is you click Run Test. And right away, your GPT will create a perfect response tailored to your customer. So as you can see, it's referring to the name. So every time this input changes, this will automatically change. This person specifically wrote about the outlet breaking and melting down, and it remembered those things and actually put it into its text. And lastly, as asked, is signed off properly, formally with the Amazon team. So there you go. You've now created a generate GPT unit in just seconds. And as I explained before, you can copy this version. It'll create exactly the same version that you previously had above. You can play around with the system message. You can play around with the prompt and see how your results change. And after you create as many types of units as you want and decide on the final one that you like, you just click select, and you'll see that it's been selected and you are done creating your unit. Thanks for watching the video.